Parents, pay attention to what you post online because some sicko might be out there to exploit what you consider very innocent posts of your children for very disgusting purposes. And I'm here to tell you about it on The Deep End on Tim Hatch Live. Okay, so welcome in everybody to The Deep End on YouTube. If you are on YouTube, give us a like, thumbs up if you would, subscribe, hit the notification bell, get notified every time we go live. This is The Deep End, where we talk about the news of the day through a pastoral lens. I am a pastor of 26 years, and the fight for the American child, the fight for the global child, is far stronger than it has ever been. So, a warning, before we get into this content, parents, you might want to watch this alone first. Make sure it's okay before you have any exposure of this content to your children, because I don't want to strike fear into their hearts unnecessarily. But there is a very disgusting trend happening in the online paid subscriber universe, and we will get to that in just a moment, but I want to give you some backstory. Years ago, 2017, Time reported in an article the YouTube parents who are turning family moments into big businesses. They highlighted the trend of parents monetizing their family lives by sharing personal moments on platforms like YouTube. So family channels became very lucrative very fast, and these also led to serious concerns about children's safety and privacy and the long-term effects of growing up in the public eye. The Shaytards channel, with 26 million views for a video that they posted about getting a swimming pool, was created by Shay Carl Butler in 2008. In 2016, Shay announced a one-year hiatus from blogging due to personal challenges, including struggles with alcoholism and allegations of inappropriate behavior online. And then we don't need to tell you too much about this. The case of Ruby Frank, a former YouTube family blogger known for her 8 Passengers channel. She gained notoriety for her strict and often controversial parenting methods. In 2023, she was arrested and then later convicted on child abuse charges after one of her malnourished children escaped from her home and sought help from a neighbor. Another child was found sitting alone in a closet by a police officer under some strange form of punishment. Frank, along with her business partner Jody Hillenbrand, was found guilty of severely abusing and neglecting multiple children under their care. Her case serves as a stark reminder about the dangers of using children for entertainment purposes or as entertainment pawns in the social media stratosphere. To that end, let's fast forward a few years to today's Superfanverse and OnlyFans-verse, if you will, or OnlyFans world. If you're not familiar with Superfanverse, it's very much like OnlyFans, only that they claim they're a little bit more clean. But if you go to their website, you see nothing of the sort. Now, the content on the channel can oftentimes, again, feature innocent family-friendly content, but the reality is that these platforms are rife with predators who specialize in exploitive behavior. Cases have surfaced where parents monetize their children's images or regular activities and then sell subscriptions to that content. And I don't know where these parents come from, but I pray for their souls. The depths of human degradation sinks lower than we can understand. This mom, who goes by the account Mom Uncharted, has more to say. Watch what she says about what's happening on Superfanverse. Watch.
Parents are knowingly selling videos and photos of their children to predators. That's exactly what is happening on these platforms that are allowing adults to subscribe to exclusive content of minors. This is a 13, maybe 14-year-old girl behind me who has a variety of tiers to see photos and videos. And I just want to be clear that these parents know it is not other teenage girls who are buying these photo packages. And everyone who is selling exclusive content of their children online to strangers should be investigated.
She's exactly right. Let us not forget the greed, the love of money is the root of all kinds of evils. It's through this craving that people wander from the faith and pierce themselves with many griefs. The average income for OnlyFans users is only about $150 to $180 a month. That's about $2,000 a year. But some of the top creators earn $1 million annually. And when you think about the tough times in the economy lately, people have more incentive than ever to maybe bend the rules of their hosts, maybe with what they consider innocent methods, but can be used for very disreputable ends by people that they do not know online. The online world is unknown. That's what you have to understand. You don't know who's watching, you don't know why they're watching, and you don't know where their eyes are diverted to and to what purpose. Consider also that there are over 4 million creators on OnlyFans alone as of right now. That's up from less than 500,000 in 2019. So how are they going to police all this content? It's going to get harder and harder with the more and more content creators appearing. Meanwhile, news from Fox News about a guy going after a subversive way that predators create explicit content out of what some would consider benign videos of your kids on YouTube. This is the article. YouTube predator playlists show videos of babies in bathtubs and little girls going bra shopping. This researcher finds the guy behind this expose is named Joshua Barbour. And he found out there's this thing, predator playlists, that where these anonymous accounts pop up and they put together a playlist where they are definitely intended to intrigue the minds of the sexual deviant out there. And I want to show you what he had to say in a video for himself. Watch.
And she's like, look, if you type in this creator or whatever, there's these no-name accounts generally, or have a dude on the front and they have like 60 to 80 subscribers on them. They have no content posted, but they create their own playlists. And in some of these playlists, all there was kids in bathing suits, kids in diapers, kids at the beach, kids in bathtubs, kids at the dentist, things like that, that would like, why are you making playlists of these specific videos? That was really eye-opening, because you start realizing you don't really want to know all this stuff, but you start realizing that this is what predators are looking for. Okay. And so they're creating these convenient playlists that they can share in their groups or wherever they're doing, or they have it handily set for themselves. And this is when YouTube made the decision this is before YouTube. So YouTube made the decision to take off comments that included kids in videos. Because what they were doing at the time was they were timestamping those videos. So let's say there's a kid in a diaper, topless at the beach or whatever. They would timestamp that video, or a kid in a compromising position, or a kid with their mouth open or eating, banana or something like that. They would timestamp that thing. So YouTube took steps and said, okay, no more comments on videos including kids. And they were upset. All the family vloggers were super upset because it tore away their engagement, right? And so that happened, and then the Predator playlist came out instead. So what they did was they'd make a playlist, and they would just have someone that had 80, 60, 70 videos of just one family, and they're all swimming, they're in bathing suits or whatever, compromising. Some of them had more, some of them had less. Some of them had 50 to 60 different types with different families. And so that was the next step that they did. They started creating Predator playlists, which is what I called them. And that was a pretty big deal. And so these families also know about that, but there's nothing they can do. They can't tell someone to remove a playlist. They can't stop a video from being put in a playlist.
Okay, that's what he has to say more statistically on this. Barber, whose mission is to speak out against this exploitation on YouTube, said he paid for engagement analytics of family vlogging channels and finds that the content was engaged by mostly men around posts of little girls. Barber said he downloaded analytics and found a child's Instagram account had millions of followers, and 70% of the demographics were men over the age of 24. Now, that is a disgusting and alarming trend, but it is nothing new when you consider the Bible describes Satan as a roaring lion seeking whom he may devour. And when I think about that phrase, I think about children are often in the crosshairs of Satan's exploits. Consider the two resources that I'd like to bring to your attention. One is a bit dated. It's from 1998. It's a book called Disney, The Mouse Betrayed, written by Peter Schweitzer and Rochelle Schweitzer. It exposed Disney's shift back in the 80s from family-friendly entertainment to big business, and then revealed a deep problem with preying on children. And then the more recent documentary, which I've already highlighted on this channel, called Quiet on Set, The Dark Side of Kids TV, which showed the problematic issues regarding children at the popular children's television station Nickelodeon. And I'm guarding my words in this content because I don't want YouTube to strike the content. So don't think I'm trying to soften the blow. I just want to make sure that this content gets into as many eyes and ears as possible because your children are at stake. Now, let's take a look at some statistics that are important. 89% of subscribers to sites like OnlyFans are married. According to Psychology Today, it is men who predominantly subscribe, but unfortunately, many of their spouses also know that they subscribe and are okay with it. This is the problem with human society today. Men tend to consume more of this content compared to women, and there is emerging evidence that men are the center of a larger loneliness epidemic. Data from the Pew Research Center indicates that 63% of men are single by choice and are also under 30, compared to 51% just 6 years ago in 2019. And moreover, a breakdown of OnlyFans users' demographics shows that subscribers on average were 63% male, 68% white, 89% married. At the same time, young men are postponing marriage and avoiding sex at rates we've never seen before. The no-sex rate among college-age men is skyrocketing, while men are also going to college far less often. Now, this could be seen as a good thing by pastors like myself who believe the Bible forbids and speaks against sex outside of marriage, but the reason for the rise in a sexless and college-educated-less male is because they can embrace a digital substitute both in their professional lives and in their sexual lives that would actually lead to degradation and actually harms society as a whole. Consider this chart from Yahoo Life, or the National Center for Health Statistics, showing that the fertility rate has declined among all age groups in the United States. And that is alarming. Americans are experiencing an historic decline in reproducing children. The fertility rate dropping below 22%. And we are reproducing 1.62 children per woman, far below 2.1 children per family on average. Now, while teen pregnancy rates have fallen 78%, there are very large concerns over population decline. The future of humanity is at stake, my friends. And isn't it interesting that both greed, monetary gain, and sexual sin are once again the main culprits? Back in ancient Israel, those two sins, greed and sex, tore the kingdom of Israel down to the ground. A 2016 article said, "Is internet adult content causing sexual dysfunctions?" And the report is, yes, a notable rise in sexual dysfunctions such as ED and other issues are higher now, particularly among men under 40. The causes are the unique properties of adult content online, limitless novelty, the potential for escalation to more extreme material, and the lack of arousal in real-world relationships as a result. Also, some clinical observations include that if you just stop looking at that content, you actually reverse all of the negative effects on your sexual life very, very quickly. So there is no doubt that there is an attack on the family unit through greed, exploiting your children for financial gain, through sexual deviancy, which is nothing new. It's part of that oldest occupation in the book. But I, as a pastor, have to remind you that when it comes to sexual sin, the Bible is very clear. We do not wrestle with it. We run from it. 1 Corinthians 6:18, flee from sexual immorality. Every other sin a person commits is outside the body, but the sexual immoral person sins against his own body. I think about the Proverbs warning in the first of the two of the first 6 chapters, really, actually 3 of the first 6 chapters. Proverbs 5, talking about the immoral woman. Keep your way far from her, Solomon writes, and do not go near the door of her house, lest you give your honor to others and your years to the merciless, lest strangers take their fill of your strength and your labors go to the house of a foreigner. And at the end of your life you groan, when your flesh and body are consumed, and you say, how I hated discipline, my heart despised reproof. I did not listen to the voice of my teachers or incline my ear to my instructors. I am at the brink of utter ruin in the assembled congregation. The text here seems to be coming from a man who knows of what he speaks. You think it's just sex. It's not. Your later years are at stake. Your future, your integrity, your reputation all hang in the balance when it comes to the sin of sexual immorality. We have to take more and more guardianship over our lives, but particularly parents, in an age where digital exploitation and hypersexualization and online predators are on the rise. You have to take proactive steps to safeguard your children from harmful content and dangerous trends, particularly in the online social media sphere. So, some practical steps for parents. Number one, establish strong digital boundaries. Biblical, but also digital boundaries. Set limits. Set time limits. Use parental controls. Get yourself one of those web services that keep accountability on where people are going on the internet devices in your homes. Keep your devices that your kids use in common areas, not in their rooms. Monitor app downloads. Many social media apps appear harmless, but contain hidden risks, and we need to be aware of it. Number two, talk openly to your children about these dangers. It can be a judgment-free conversation because you are interested in protecting your children, and you have to let them know about that. Also, simple conversation started with your children is ask them, if someone online asked for a picture of you or where you lived, what would you do? I have asked my children that question, and thank God so far they have passed. But you never know. Children are very impressionable, and one of the things that groomers do, they try to separate the parent from the child and the child from the parent as quickly as possible to gain trust, to gift things to them so that they gain a secretive relationship, and before you know it, your child is under the spell of a predator. Number three, set social media and content restrictions, particularly when it comes to things like TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, Discord. All of these channels, you have no idea the depths of sin and deviancy that can be found in these posts and these sites. You know, Paul talks about it is shameful to even mention what the Gentiles do in secret. And we don't have to talk about it. Now it is very visible on your smartphone should you take any steps to search for it, although I would highly suggest that you do not. It's out there. Be aware of it. Be aware that it's coming for your children. And number four, go do things with your kids outside. Like, this is the simplest one, right? We consider these devices as really great babysitters, but they can also now be used to harm your children. Don't be a lazy parent here. You've got to take the umbrage, take the initiative, go for a bike ride, go for a walk. Force them to do this. I know of what I speak here. You have to force them off of their devices and outside your house, but do it with them. Go sledding, go skating, go rollerblading, go do anything and everything you can to get time with your kids. They're only kids for so long, and I am learning this myself, having two children who are now out of my house and one still in my house. Take time with these precious little ones that God has given you, because before you know it, they are on their own. Thanks for watching the content, everybody. We don't have extra content this week because it is my son's week off from school, and I'm going to practice what I preach. But if you're interested in supporting us, check out the dependable membership plans. $10 a month helps us. $30 for premium membership, and legacy is at $60. When you support us, Project Rescue and American Bible Society get 10% each of what comes in, and I'm so glad to be able to bring this content to you. I hope it helps. I hope it protects you and your children. The enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy. Don't let him. Have your guard up. Be strong in Jesus' name. God bless.